Welcome back to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. I think it's time for a special minute. Shall we make it?
Did I doze off there for a minute?
No, it's beautiful music. And
it did. It took me away.
Yeah.
It's time for the Multi-Housing Association Minute. And this MHA Minute is brought to you by Pest Control Services. When you need an exterminator, you want someone reliable like Greg Keener at Pest Control Services. So call him, 952-894-9748. Pest Control Services is a proud member of Angie's List, and it's a member of the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. That's Pest Control Services, 952-894-9748. And tell Greg that Gene and Tony sent you.
Do you need products to successfully run your rental property business? Interested in a class about fair housing or rekeying locks? Want to use the plain language lease that is used by the majority of rental property owners in Minnesota? Then you should visit mmha.com. That's two M's, mmha.com. That's the website for the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association, the most comprehensive resource in the state for owners of everything from a duplex to hundreds of units, and for townhome and condo associations as well. They've been around for 40 years and put on hundreds of seminars, publish a monthly magazine, sell Attorney General approved leases, and have countless other tools for property owners. While they are a membership organization, all of their resources and seminars and their annual convention and their spring conference and their orientation programs are open to everyone. For more information, visit the website, mmha.com.
now, before we start talking about this subject, and I know that when we talk about rentals, it's always near and dear your heart.
Yes, it
is. And
is.
so I always like to kind of throw the grenade over to you and then go
and watch it explode.
Watch it explode. Yes, but before we do that, I want to just let our listeners know two things. Number one, we've got a great resource for you, a bi-monthly newsletter called What's New. We have over 18,000 subscribers to this newsletter, and a lot of the information that you hear on Where You Live is in that newsletter. A lot of the folks that we have on the show, on our shows, contribute as well. All you need to do is give us a call during the week at 952-922-2500. Ask for Courtney, and she'll make sure that you start receiving that subscription. It's free, either electronically or by mail. And also like to let our listeners know, too, we have a hotline. That number is 952-224-2668. So if you have a topic that you'd like us to discuss on the show, you have a comment that you'd like to make about something that you hear, call the hotline. You can leave that message, and then we're happy to address that the following week.
So we were talking about Senate Bill 150 that's going to take effect January 1st
in California.
That will impact rental restrictions that have been put in place by homeowners associations. Now, the California Association of Realtors is supporting this bill because it's going to keep associations from controlling rentals as much as they
they were
to.
Key sponsors of this bill in California.
And what did you think when you saw that? You said your reaction was different than mine.
Well, a little bit. Now they say here in this article that the justification is based on their belief that the right to rent or lease real property owned is a valuable property right that should be protected, irrespective of whether the real property is located within or outside a community association.
I agree with that, and that's what I propose all the time, and that's the idea that I put forward all the time to homeowners associations. A homeowners association is already limiting your rights as an owner of real estate. They do that because they're giving you services as a community. That's why it's called the covenants, the Declaration of Covenants and Restrictions. Covenants means the association's making promises to you as an owner. Restrictions means, however, they're restricting your ownership and they're restricting your rights. I don't think we should restrict rights any more than is necessary. And it is a fundamental right to be able to rent your real estate.
And I agree with all of that, however, with a little caveat.
Yeah, okay. Let's hear it.
And because I do. I agree. I need to, I'll put all my cards on the table. I have rental property that's in a homeowners association. I appreciate the fact that happens. And I do believe that when someone owns property, they have the right for quiet use and enjoyment. They have that property to use as an asset to mortgage, to borrow money if they wish. They can rent it out because it's a real property that they can lease to someone else. The only caveat or difference is that when a person purchases in a homeowners association, they have agreed that they're going to give up some of those rights, and they do so willingly. And so at that point, and to one degree, at that point, you don't know what those, how that's going to play out. I'll give you an example. I purchased a condominium many years ago. My first one, probably back in 1991. Okay, at the time, they allowed pets. They allowed dogs, and I brought my dog.
Okay.
After we got there, they changed the rules with pets, and I had to get rid of my dog.
Sure. So what you're saying is it should be okay for a homeowners association to apply rules and regulations restricting rentals after the fact, after you've purchased.
Yes. There's a process they need to go through to do that.
Sure.
And so I don't
disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is it's not a good idea. And here's why.
Oh, yeah.
Because it doesn't help your community. It harms your community. We've just seen that happen in the real estate market. People can't sell their homes. People are underwater on their mortgages. So they're looking for alternatives. And one of the best alternatives is to rent out that home. Rent out that townhouse or that condo and collect some income to help defray the cost of the mortgage. If your homeowners association has passed a prohibition, no more rentals, then you're stuck. So I think those prohibitions harm their members. Now, having said that, I still think the association should have the right to draft rules and regulations to require or encourage good management of those rentals. I just don't think it's well advised to prohibit them entirely.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think that there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And I think that's probably what we're talking about here. Some association board members can be too glib, if that's the right word, to just kind of quickly want to see something pass without realizing the unintended consequences, or without even talking to the other members to find out what it is that they wish to have.
That's right.
Take place.
I'm hearing people say nowadays that they are being more careful about reading disclosure statements in homeowners associations before they buy, because if there's going to be a rental prohibition, they don't want to buy there because they want to have flexibility in owning that property. Now, this article is talking about this Senate Bill 150, which is going to control homeowners associations and how they pass these rules. And it offers very good advice. It talks about grandfathering in people who are already there, already renting their units. It talks about if you are going to change rules and regulations about rentals, you should file that, record that with your governing document so that it becomes a part of your governing documents and not just a rule that's changeable by another board.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. It is good information, and really we're about the same, I think, on this. It's just I hope it goes well. I'm wondering if there might be some other consequences that might take place, but it'll be interesting to watch and see what happens. Hey, folks, we've got to take a break. Don't go away. We've got a whole nother hour of Where You Live, a lot more to cover, but we need to go to these messages. So we'll see you on the other side of this break in just a few.
Don't you know to be